Hi, I'm Shanta Maharaj Singh, and I am the owner of Successful Mindset Strategies. I am a counselor with Council for Counselors South Africa, a member of Commensa, and I'm also a neuroagility practitioner and in the process of being registered as an AcuDetox practitioner. The reason I'm doing these videos is to do careers that are out of the box. Now, it's that time of the year where matric results are going to be out. And for those of you not in this country, when I say matric, I mean grade 12. So those results are due to be out. And there's a lot of hesitance. Of course, there should be. The entire world is hesitant at the moment. But I thought parents generally, and of course students, we tend to look at mainstream careers. And I've had so many come to me and say, for example, we want to become psychologists. And I ask them, why do you want to become psychologists? Because we want to sit and listen to people's problems. And then when I say to them, how are you in maths? Do you realize that one of the years is very intense statistics? Do you realize what the research involves? And then they back off. The other thing I've come across is, I want to be a lawyer. Why do you want to be a lawyer? Because I want to put criminals into jail. And I've had to make them understand that their job is to keep the criminals out of jail if they're fighting for one. Mm-hmm. The other thing I've come across, and this is what I'm going to discuss this morning, is human resource management. Now, I'm an ex-human resource manager as well, because I've served my years in corporate and education and in private practice. Why do you want to become an HR manager? Because I want to fire people. I want to be the power to hire and fire people. And not once have they even thought of the training aspect, the payroll aspect, all those things. Now, over this period of engaging in workshops and webinars, I've had the absolute pleasure of an online meeting. A young girl, I haven't taught this young lady, but she will persist in calling me ma'am. I've tried to break the ice using terms of endearment with her, but the ma'am still prevails. And she just amazes me. She lives on a mining compound, if I can call it that, in a mining community. This young lady, I don't think she's even 25. She runs her own business from her home. Danisha Singh, welcome. Tell me about yourself.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. So just a little bit about myself. My name is Danisha Singh, and I am currently in a mining community. I'm studying towards a diploma in HR, but I do have many other certificates to my name and qualifications. I'm just excited to be here and share my views on human resources and talk a little bit about my company, Wokuvelela Placements.
Lovely. Danisha, a lot for a young lady. I'm not sure if I'm going to be crossing a line here, but I'd like you to, if possible, your age and your marital status as well.
I am 25. I'll be 26 in July, and I am married to an amazing guy, Rushay Singh, who is also in the mining industry.
Great. So there's a lot of possibility out there, and you just made things happen. Now, was this a career of choice or was it by default?
Definitely, it was a career of choice. But it wasn't easy making my decision. I started work straight out of high school. And from there, I developed a passion for human resources and then further recruitment and people.
Okay, now Danisha, another question. You talk about recruitment and people, and you're working from home, am I right? You have a home-based office?
That's correct.
How does that work?
It works the way you want it to work. So if you're giving 110%, then most definitely you will get 110% back. I feel working from home, it's easier and it's now safer given the times we're living in.
Yeah, you know, you mentioned the 110%, and I stand by you. I've been on so many different sides of the job spectrum where, you know, I've been employed in a government school and you're very assured of your salary there. I've been employed in
Mm-hmm.
private practice where, you know, admin salary or management salary depends on how your staff performs. And if your staff doesn't perform, then don't expect to take much home that month. And I've been in private practice. Now, I must be a sucker for punishment because I really believe that private practice, you know, it teaches you feast or famine. How do you cope with that?
Yes.
There are months we make nothing, but we still go out there, we still dress up, show up, and do what we have to do.
Yes, 100%. So it is very difficult being in your early 20s and then realizing that you want to start your own business. That monthly salary is not guaranteed. Whereas you're working for someone else, you know for certain at the end of the month you will get that salary. But having your own business, you have to teach yourself basic money management skill and what to do if you aren't getting what you used to get. Like coronavirus started, things changed drastically, and no one knew how to manage their finances in that short amount of time. But learning from last year and
Mm-hmm.
using what we learned, we can manage our money better. But the one trick that I'm grateful for that I've learned along the way is never reach too deep into your pockets for things that you want and do not need.
Yeah.
So create small goals for yourself money wise to get what you want and then focus on what you need.
You know, you mentioned not reaching too deep into your pockets, and it made me think of something that was said to me a number of years ago by somebody that when you're working for yourself, your arms have to be short and your
Mm-hmm.
pockets have to be down at your ankles. You only reach into them when you really need to. Other than that, keep your hands where they should be and leave your pockets to be where they are. So yeah, you know, I'm
Yes.
glad that's coming from you. Talking about that, how did you set up as an entrepreneur? Yours wasn't an easy story. You know, you're not living in the center of the city. But chatting to you a few weeks ago, you've got some very impressive clients on your book. So how do you
Yes.
do it?
So being involved in many webinars, I picked up on people's what was working for them, for their company, and I realized that you do need a social media presence and a website that represents you. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
CV for your company. And whatever you put out needs to be a true representation. But yes, it was difficult for me to start up. There's not many companies in Tabzimbi itself that offer web design or anything related to getting your company on social media.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I taught myself. I took short courses online on how to design and get your website out there. And there's also many other softwares
Mm-hmm.
that you can use to start up.
I've looked at your website, pretty impressive. In fact, 2021 is a year for me to set mine up. I was just waiting for a few more licensing to come through. So yeah, I was looking at yours and very, very impressive. Now,
Thank you.
Danisha, getting clients, keeping clients. Getting them is one thing. How do you keep your clients? Do you believe that trust is the most important thing?
100% trust is very important. But along with trust, you need confidence in yourself and the services that you offer. I've learned that, yes, with my age, I'm quite young and people would view me as inexperienced. But because of my background of work, along with a few qualifications and my confidence, I'm able to keep my clients
May I ask
on the
you to
books.
please elaborate on those qualifications?
So it's accessible qualifications. You can also do it online. It's a SAPS qualification which deals with payroll, and it's very international. So
Yeah.
you have chances of working with companies from international levels. And then there's also pastel payroll and a lot of
Yes.
other, yes, it's very important.
Yeah.
And your basic computer skills like Excel, and now Zoom is also important and good to have on your CV.
And Google
So
Meet and all those things. Yeah.
definitely all of those things, even though you might know how to use it, I would recommend you get the certificates to add on to your resume, so people trust you and understand that you dedicated your time in learning this trade, and you can get them to the next level with their placement needs or business needs.
I met you on a meeting app called GoToMeeting. It was hosted
Yes,
by Orbrix.
yes,
I
yes.
was presenting for Hawa Shafri. So wherever Hawa
Yes,
is,
I
hi Hawa.
recall.
Yeah.
Hi,
And
Hawa.
hi Hawa. And that's how we got to know each other. And it's amazing
Yes.
how, you talk about social media links. Now, Tanisha, there's a difference there. There's a difference between social media links for professional purposes and social media links for social purposes. Now,
Yes.
I noticed that, we've had this discussion some time ago as well, you and I, about using it for social purposes and how it conflicts with your
Mm-hmm.
professional image and how it's important.
Yes.
It really is important to be able to define exactly what you want to put up there, and whether you want to be, the world's advisor, or whether you want to come across as I'm worth you paying for my services. So yeah, we've had that discussion. How did you evolve from there? I haven't been on
Yes, we have.
Facebook much because I've been too busy, and I think you have as well, been too busy. But
Yes.
did that help in any way when we defined the two and how it suits a certain personality? We're not saying it's wrong, but it doesn't suit the kind of work that you do as an HR person. Am I right?
That is very correct. I feel like in HR, people will view your professional profile and compare it to your personal profile. And most of the time, people expect you to be the same person you are business-wise, and when you're just having a private or personal conversation
Yeah.
with them.
And then,
And
sorry, Danisha, correct me if I'm wrong here. Very often, people who allow this line to be crossed complain that their clients don't take them seriously.
very true, very true. 100% correct. And after our discussion, I noticed a big change in how my clients respond to me. So hopefully, those who do decide to start their own businesses and use social media platforms, just take heed of that and know that your personal life needs to be either very private, or what you share needs to link with what you represent as a company.
And also, when you in the kind of situation, because I'm X what you're doing, you really have to be very, very careful, and don't even insinuate anything in your
Don't
posts.
ever.
Don't
Don't ever, yes.
insinuate it, because it comes back. I promise you, it comes back to bite you so badly that you have problems sitting down. These are dangerous things. Tanisha, I'm glad that our last conversation did make a difference to your
It really did.
social. I'm so happy for that.
Thank you
Tanisha,
for that.
what advice would you give someone waiting for matric results, has a passion for HR, the job situation internationally is bad? What would you say to them if they've got the drive and someone can back them up to do what you're doing?
My advice would be, don't have doubt. Don't ever doubt yourself, and make sure you expose yourself to the different fields. So engineering, there's so many, there's a lot of diversity in work fields. And with HR, you have the opportunity to work in each one of those things with the same set of skills, but a new understanding for the different types of skills and needed. Yeah.
And I think the other thing now that, this is a world of entrepreneurs. And of course, many of the entrepreneurs have side hustles as well. The one thing we need to understand that when we study or when we go out there, we're not the only person offering the service. And if you can't be the best version of yourself, it's useless putting the next person down. Would you agree with me?
100%. I do agree with you.
Yeah. I always say up your own game instead of looking at how the other person's game is going down. Because
exactly.
while you're,
and change is definitely constant. Yeah. So if you're unable to adapt to change, then your business will not succeed, unfortunately.
Absolutely. And also, I find, here again, correct me if I'm wrong, one needs to look at grassroots levels. You need to also understand that whatever you do needs to make a difference to your community, to society, and hopefully to the world at large. So if you have a mindset of, I want to do HR, but I want to go into a company in a senior HR position, I would say close your eyes and dream. There's many successful people like you, young, started on your own, but you also never give up. You're progressing.
Yes.
To the graduate that comes out or the diplomate, I would just like to say that you're not going to walk into an HR manager's position. Definitely not. As Danisha said, get your skill up with payroll. I have so often seen people who are now sitting as HR managers entered companies doing payroll, entered being invoice clerks with their qualifications. I know a very successful businessman, ex-Durban, Pietermaritzburg, well, lives between. Started off, writing the little slips. I think it was the office slips for a company. Now owns, I think, 3 franchises. I cannot mention his name, unfortunately, but people who know me will know who I'm referring to. What a progressive businessman. Absolutely progressive. And the lesson he teaches his staff is start from the bottom and prove yourself in a company, and you can one day own that company.
Yes. That's
so
very important for a graduate to know that you have to start somewhere. Yeah. Your qualification will not get you that top position immediately, but when you start at the bottom, you learn how important each level of the company is. And when you do enter a management position, you have new eyes, fresh eyes, and you are able to assist and help the company and its people better.
Absolutely. I did a course, presented a course called The Toolbox for Managers. And this was for a UK company. And that's one of the things I touched on, is that when people enter at basic level, when they do reach management, they are so much better at what they do. And also personality-wise, they don't walk in with that bulldozing attitude. So those of you who want to study HR, you're studying HR management, which does not guarantee you a manager's post. It is managing the different facets of HR within the company. You might even just be asked to source the trainers.
Yes.
You might be asked to go and do an assessor's course. So don't feel that any of these things are below you. Danisha, I think you will agree with me on this. Do not look at an NQF level and think that because you've got an NQF 6 or 7, that you shouldn't do an NQF 2 course. That is where
100%. 100%. I agree with you.
And I've come across that so often. Oh, we're going to be coming out with an NQF this. I mean, we've matriculated and that's an NQF 4. It means nothing in the workplace.
Yes, especially with these times now, you can get a degree and you'll be unemployed for the longest period because you do not have the experience to back up your degree. And one thing that's beautiful with recruitment is that you don't need a qualification to start recruiting. You need experience. So if you're in sales, you can do recruitment in sales or IT or whatever your heart desires. And then while working, you can focus on your mini qualifications, so to say, like your SAPs. And those are all equally important.
Very, very important. And they work towards your RPL eventually.
Yes, they do. And that's another thing with human resources is that you learn about RPL and its importance, and then you also apply that knowledge to your workforce. So you're also encouraging people to level up.
Those who don't know what RPL is, it's recognition of prior learning. So
yes,
that's very important.
Very important.
Tanisha,
and you can also get a qualification based on your work experience if you use RPL correctly.
Correctly, that's the operative word, using RPL correctly. Tanisha, I hope that those who want to go into HR understand now that there's a bit more to it and that there is a
possibility. It's very diverse.
And that there is a possibility of going on your own. Can I just have 1 or 2 minutes on your recruitment? How do you do recruitment? Because recruitment companies are big. I remember some very big recruitment companies, but I've also seen their staff buying off franchises from them. And you haven't done that. You're a standalone. How does yours work?
So basically, I work with external bodies or companies that request certain maybe semi-skilled or skilled workers. And how I source my clients or candidates is via LinkedIn and my business page where they upload their CVs. So we match the candidates with the skill set that the company needs, and then the interview process then begins if they are happy with the candidate.
Tanisha, I see a training opportunity coming up here, because I do believe that in the event we have anyone interested, I think you and I can get together and guide them through this process.
Definitely.
You know, obviously under our business banners, etc. And I think that we could do a proper longer workshop if the need does arise. It's been wonderful, young lady.
Thank you so much for your time.
I only wish you more success. You amaze me.
Thank you so much.
You know, knowing you a little bit better than I do on screen, I marvel at you. I honestly marvel at you. You're in
Thanks, ma'am.
Tabazimbi?
Yes.
Tell us, as a parting shot in the end, just describe Tabazimbi to us.
It is a community with a lot of ambition, friendly people, constantly hot, and always a smile on people's face within the community.
And it's not a metropolitan, is it?
Definitely not. It's very quiet. We have 1 traffic light and 0 traffic.
Okay, great. And none of that has stopped you from running your business at home?
No. It's actually encouraged me to introduce my business.
Good. What are your hours of work? How many hours do you put in a day? I know you mentioned sometimes you're up at 3 in the morning. I also have weird hours because I work with some client, you know, some people in different countries. So yeah, I know that weird hour thing. Tell us about it.
So strictly, it's 6 hours a day because you don't want your passion to feel like an everyday job. And then the odd hours I do work, it's for extreme cases. So yes, you have to dedicate strict hours in order for your business to be successful. And those odd hours are very important as well.
Tanisha, thank you very much. Here's
Thank you so
to
much.
another successful year for you, more pages to your website. And those of you who are interested in
Thank
HR,
you.
give us a call. Danisha, your final sentence, I would like you to please include your website.
Okay, so my website is www.wokuvelela.co.za, or you can send me a direct email at placement@wokuvelela.co.za. I will link a description on your video.
Thank you so much. Many blessings to you, and
Thank you too.
continue persevering. God bless
Thank
you,
you so
Danisha.
much. God bless you. Bye.